soldiers, kissing the cannibals. Should I get lonely when I'm the only human in the heat of the animals? Little brown salt stinging on my tongue. I will not waver, I will not wait its turn. It will bleed, it will burn. But burn your love into the ground with the lips of another. Do you get lonely? Should I get lonely sometimes? All my friends are wasted, and I hate this club, and I drink too much. Another Friday night I wasted. My eyes are black and red, I'm falling back to your bed. All my friends are wasted, and I hate this club, and I drink too much. Another Friday night I wasted. My eyes are black and red, I'm falling back to your bed. All my friends are wasted, and I hate this club, and I drink too much. Another Friday night I wasted. My eyes are black and red, I'm falling back to your bed. We open with the soldiers, kissing the cannibals. Should I get? We open with the soldiers, kissing the.
I've been watching you, you've been hurting too. You give all your love, nothing left to show. I have been there too, alone in my despair, watching life go by, no one who to.
Weird one. W.
W. She's really fun.
Boy, you got it bad, but I got something good. I'll treat you good in every way, yeah. You will never feel alone. My touch is such a rush, it all overflows. I'll give to you the love you seek in love. Sorry, I'm waiting for. I'll give to you the love you seek in love. Give to you the love you seek in love.
Check out your dad with the swag on the floor. Mama gon' brag when I walk in the door. Y'all ain't never seen a gorilla in the mist walk the line so fine with a blindfold. Keep in mind though, hot dad riding in on a rhino. Got the roll on the rap with the dad vibes. Now everybody bounce with the franchise. Come on. Can't live with 'em, can't live without 'em. New kid back on the block with a rip. Dad got the fag in the back with the drip. Come and get a sip. La-di-da. Can't live with 'em, can't live without 'em. New kid back on the block with a rip. Dad got the fag in the back with the drip. Come
can start today to make a better tomorrow. Hit it!
It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine. It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine, mine. It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine. Think that you ahead, cause I'm behind. Flipping the table, don't be surprised. It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine. Think that you ahead, cause I'm behind. Flipping the table, don't be surprised. And I was drunk before I did this. I ain't really care about opinions. Did a lot of things I won't mention. I got out my head and then I went and flipped it. I remember times I was struggling. Now it's in my palm, I can't fumble it. They ain't getting paper, they be crumbling. They ain't getting paper, they be crumbling. It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine. Think that you ahead, cause I'm behind. Flipping the table, don't be surprised. It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine. Think that you ahead, cause I'm behind. Flipping the table, don't be surprised. It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine. Think that you ahead, cause I'm behind. Flipping the table, don't be surprised. It's the part where you lose your mind, but I don't really care, cause I lose mine. Think that you ahead, cause I'm behind. Flipping the table, don't be surprised.
It coming back to us, the way we dance and way we make love. I can't stop chasing after you. Wonder why'd you dance, why'd you move, why'd you move? Yeah.
schnell. Viel zu viel zusammen, mein langsam nicht mehr kann. Für immer ist noch ganz schön lang. Ich glaub, es war wohl das Land. Irgendwas kommt ganz bestimmt, also schau mich bitte nicht so an. Wurde es nicht mehr interessant, aber hängst doch immer an der Wand. Die Zeit mit dir war schön, doch es bleibt nur die Erinnerung daran. Aber manchmal wünsch ich mir wir zwei, hätten wir später existieren. Doch ich will nur, dass du weißt, du bist und bleibst für immer ein Teil von mir.
atuka. Kururorora kawego atuka. Natakoruti takanita. When I get up, go on noka. Amaito anyu ainaga. Dole kaire tu kega 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 kega. Wasuka, rugo ago agawe wasuka, watuka, kururorora gawe watuka. Natakoruti takanita, when I get up, go on noka. Namaito anyu ainaga, dole kaire tu kega 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 kega.
I've been up the six and the and I can put you in. Put you in. I've been up the six and the and I can put you in. I can put you in. I can see the whole city from his balcony. Back in 2019, it was outside free, like Bugatti got it out for me. I don't care what party you was in, you can't offer me. Keep dreaming. Pineapple juice, I give a sweet, sweet, sweet steam. I know where they legs, but I just keep teasing. I try to feel it, he's thinking. Trying to come the same day as Jack, rethink it. You don't need to give on shit, you need Jesus. Why do y'all sit on me? I need reasons. I got plaques in the mail, peak season. Shout out to my UPLs, was making sure I receive. You could do it too, believe it. I've been up the six and the and I can put you in. I can put you in. I've been up the six and the and I can put you in. I'm outside, okay. I'm outside, okay. This lifestyle don't got many dawns live. Except for the lucky time, keep my mind.
that chef, we swerving through the back. Fleet of suburban, suburban with the yak. We don't deserve it, meet your nerves, we gon' react. Speak with the purpose, if you're nervous, then relax, baby, please. I do it with ease, I know you haven't had nights like these.
See if there's any deer this. This morning.
Oh my god! Four in a row! He's now dominating! He's dominating, Rick! Oh yeah, your bottom tower's under attack. Down.
This'll come in handy.
He's dominating now! He's dominating!
Ever since you left me, more money, more cars, more hoes, more shows. Ever since you left me, more diamonds, more gold, more motion, more hoes. I went deaf on the dip. Touch once. I went deaf on the dip. All I need is one night.
You're gonna have to splurge on it.
All I need is one night.
Book in the purse.
I went deaf on the dip.
This New York York City, French, Max, B, Remy, always the one, never the two. Told him find something super to play when he picked you. Since I've been gone, it's so crazy. I put a do-rag on and got wavy. I'm that bitch, went orange with the black tips. I went Fox on a whack bitch. Drunk off Dom, Poppy on E. Can't keep his rich baller hands off me. Both in the club, high singing off key like, come pick up your clothes.
I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. All I need is one night.
You gonna have to splurge.
All I need is one night.
In a purse.
I went deaf on the bitch. Yes, my, yes, I, Fiesta. Drop top G-Wagons, we don't do Teslas. Don't pay for the bag, I pay semesters. I turn dream girls to my new extras. Niggas recognize game girls do too. Run through the city like the 2 Live Crew. Got a Harlem broad, got a Brooklyn broad. I ain't come this far just to come this far. A friend to all is a friend to none. So don't push me, bitch, cause I'll press the button. I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. All I need is one night.
You gonna have to splurge.
All I need is one night. I went deaf on the bitch.
All I need is one night, one chick. Dumb drip. Baby want a piece, call me scrumptious. Baby wanna be with me, call me a husband. She was singing on my mic, dirty dog spit. She said you love cool, time heard the phone, they knew I do. Christina Pink, Moulin Rouge, got the 3-piece suit, me do love suit. I went that bitch through my mood. I just get rich and fuck any bitch I shoot.
I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. All I need is one night. All I need is one night. I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch.
Morty, who was that? I don't know. It was pretty tight. The enemy's top pair just got riggedy wrecked. Oh, the enemy's middle tower's gone. Third from right. Oh, snap. You got mega creeps on your corner, homie.
Get ready to shake your asses.
I went deaf on the bitch.
Shake your ass.
Ever since you left me, more money, more cars, more hoes, more shows. Ever since you left me, more diamonds, more gold, more motion, more hoes. I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. All I need is one night.
You gonna have to splurge on it.
All I need is one night.
In a purse.
I went deaf on the bitch.
This New York City, French, Max, B, Remy, always the one, never the two. Told him find something stupid to play with, he picked you. Since I've been gone, it's so crazy. I put a do-rag on and got wavy. I'm that bitch, went orange with the black tips. I went Fox on a whack bitch. Drunk off Dom, Poppy on E. Can't keep his rich baller hands off me. Both in the club, high singing off key like, come pick up your clothes.
I went deaf on the bitch. All I need is one night.
You gonna have to splurge on it.
All I need is one night.
In a purse.
I went deaf on the bitch. Yes, my, yes, I, Fiesta. Drop top G-Wagons, we don't do Teslas. Don't pay for the bag, I pay semesters. I turn dream girls to my new extras. Niggas recognize game girls do too. Run through the city like the 2 Live Crew. Got a Harlem broad, got a Brooklyn broad. I ain't come this far just to come this far. A friend to all is a friend to none. So don't push me, bitch, cause I'll press the button. I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. All I need is one night.
You gonna have to splurge on it.
All I need is one night.
In a purse.
I went deaf on the bitch.
All I need is one night, one chick. Dumb drip. Baby want a piece, call me scrumptious. Baby wanna be with me, call me husband. She was singing on my mic, Teddy Rug spin. This that you love cool, first time I heard the flow, they knew I do. Christina Pink, Moulin Rouge. that bitch blew my mood. I just get rich and fuck any bitch I choose.
I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. All I need is one night.
You gon' have to splurge on it.
All I need is one night.
Whipped in a purse.
I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch. I went deaf on the bitch.
Get ready to shake your asses.
I don't speak Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese. I can speak English.
Dale mamá con tu tacata. Just wanna ride like I'm Uzi. Fell out, now I'm in a movie. Vive like the Terminator. Taca taca to the hater.
I don't speak Portuguese. I can speak English.
Dale mamá con tu tacata.
En la discoteca, hablando este verano soy el nuevo teca.
I don't speak Portuguese. I can speak English.
Dale mamá con tu tacata. Dale mamá con tu tacata.
I think I'm losing control.
You do not look good. And I think the entire world can see that you are the Judas of the story. This report that was published, now you may have seen it, absolutely bonkers. The same people that brought you Christ is King is anti-Semitic. The NCRI, they do focused reports on, I think, really just me, things that I say. And they were really pushing and peddling a couple of years ago that Christ is King is anti-Semitic. They released this report during Lent. It backfired, obviously. Chief among the people who were very critical of this report was Charlie Kirk himself. And Charlie didn't care that the NCRI had Johnny Moore on their board. Andrew Colvet's old partner, Johnny Moore, on the board of NCRI when the Christ is King report was published. This twerp, look at him. And then he also was a part, of course, of this report that was published about me, accusing me on the first day of a Tyler Robinson trial of being a digital assassin. I'm sure, even though Andrew Colvet was pushing this report, that he had no idea it was coming up. He's just responding naturally, the PR guy. Anyway, it's entitled Permission to Kill. Look, kill is in red. Ooh, they're serious, guys. Focus group sat down and said, let's put the word kill in red. And they have, obviously, a target, gunshot, and then a scope looking at someone. And it says how Candace Owens built a digital assassination culture targeting Erica Kirk. Okay. So what is the purpose of this? We should talk about that. I got all of these emails. It wasn't just them, but tons of organizations while I was on, tons of media groups were reaching out, asking me to comment on this. I think we had Politico. What do you say about the fact that they researched and saw that it's because of you saying Erica's a psychopath was one of their points, calling Erica a psychopath on Sean Ryan, which literally aired that week, that leads to people wanting to kill Erica Kirk? Calling somebody a clinical psychopath makes other people want to kill them? Really? So why aren't you guys doing a report on like Andrew Colvet and Blake Neff? Blake Neff referred to me as a knife-wielding psychopath on a subway. Did that lead to me getting death threats? Does this only work one way? What about all these influencers that are constantly calling me sociopathic, crazy, a grifter, targeting me, the widow, these people that are going out there and have been non-stop producing content about me since I said, really, Christ is King? Does that put a target on my back? Oh no, it's only Erica. You can't notice when Erica is lying to you and recognize the signs of someone who is clinically dissociated and might actually be a psychopath. Why would I want Erica to be hurt? Why would I want somebody who is dissociated to be hurt? Why can't we discuss clinical terms without you accusing me of murder? Why are you accusing me of setting the groundwork for someone to be harmed? I've never done that. I've never, ever done that. I've never said go out, and I've never even said don't go to Erica's events. Erica's done that. Erica made personal phone calls to priests, telling them not to attend an event that I was at, because that's how she behaves behind the scenes. While she, in the front, pretends she's a victim, behind the scenes, she's quite nasty, actually. That's fact. She's been leading these attacks against me. I'm sure she was on the phone with Johnny Moore, cooking this one up. Maybe she wasn't. If she wasn't, then she should be concerned. Okay? Because when I walk through this in my mind, the absurdity of the case that is before us, when I look at the non-facts that are being presented, when I look at their intent of bringing social media influencers into the courtroom, which just makes a mockery of the justice system and proves that they do not have truth on their side, I then, in my mind, take it to its natural end. What are they going to do? You're going to arrive at the moment where everything unfolds. It feels like we're there, right? It's all coming apart at the seams. Blake's coming apart. Andrew's coming apart. Influencers are dramatizing, collapsing, overwhelmed, just trying to sell this thing, right? Like, oh, what are we going to do? Everyone, all-out assault on Candace. Bringing out people from the woodwork. They're like, Candace took her pencil in 3rd grade and she has something to say. We're bringing her on the show today. I did actually, in 3rd grade, I did erase someone's name on homework because I was afraid to not turn it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I hope they don't find Kathy. I did take Kathy's homework. I'd like to confess that right now. But the broader point is, what are they doing? Why are they appealing and going into the woodwork and bringing all these people out and attacking me nonstop? It feels like they're losing big time. I mean, they're getting delusional. Candace has no audience. It's over. She's crashing and burning. I mean, like, what are we talking about? Is it possible that to deal with this, they're going to like kill Tyler? Or they're going to like make up some plan and pretend like Erica couldn't deal. She was overwhelmed. And then they're going to go, oh, we're pinning it on Candace. Now we also have the dial back speech laws. Doesn't that seem like they're kind of setting the stage for that? All of the usual suspects coming out with something that does not pass the sniff test because no one deals with more online attacks on a daily basis than me. Tens of millions of dollars is being spent. I am listed, me and Tucker Carlson, in the FARA docs. They're admitting it. They're not hiding it. We have to take down Tucker and Candace Owens, and we're willing to spend the money to do it. And yet, nobody makes a report and says, if Candace, anything happens, if anyone says anything about Candace, they're digital assassins. They don't put somebody else in a scope. What gives? It feels to me like it could be the beginning of a plot. A government plot. We can't win this thing. We need to get influencers, independent journalists off of this entirely. We need a big event that allows us to crawl back speech. Think of it like 9/11. 9/11 happens, and then it's like, well, we got to take away your freedom. We got to get this bill passed immediately, take your shoes off and belts off at the airport, and now the government is allowed to spy on you because this terroristic event happened, and we're doing this for safety. I feel like that needs to be said, that people are sensing that that's their plan here, you know, to pull like, you know, Erica got harmed by someone or Erica harmed herself. And none of this would have happened if it wasn't this culture of quote unquote digital assassination. And may I just state emphatically that Charlie Kirk was so opposed to this idea that speech equates to violence when you're not calling for violence. You're investigating real violence, and now they're saying you investigating the violence is the violence. Huh? Charlie was emphatically against that, and the fact that Andrew Colbert is sharing that and perpetuating that culture, well, it just reinforces what we've always known. Andrew Colbert is a traitor. My dream was correct. Check. Accurate. Speaking of Andrew and the Kairos Company, Johnny Moore, Andrew Colbert during his crash out was still trying to protect BB, but in the process admitted that I was telling the truth. I have maintained, I think since September, it might be October, I haven't changed my story once, that Andrew Colbert called me and he told me about the Hamptons. My source was Andrew Colbert. It was. I told Erica that when we met face to face, and she conceded that yes, Bibi Netanyahu did call at Bill Ackman's house. Now, her reason for Bill Ackman calling was that he was following up on the letter that Charlie wrote him in May, but that's not what Andrew Colbert told me. He told me that Bibi offered to take Turning Point to the next level, and Charlie said no. That's all he said. And Charlie said no. He also described how the Hamptons had an intervention, and he also communicated to me on the BB front. That's all he said. But he also communicated to me that Charlie had declined to have BB on his show. These are things that I could not have known. I was not at the Hampton Summit, right? I was not at the Hampton Summit. So how did I know that BB called? If I'm not telling the truth, how did I know so early that Bibi Netanyahu called and made this phone call? How did I know that Charlie, something that only Andrew Colbert could have known, in that same phone call, that Charlie declined to have Bibi on, which demonstrates the state of Charlie's mind against Bibi. That's the Prime Minister of Israel. If Charlie was pro-Israel when he died, that'd be a pretty good guy to have on your podcast. But instead, he was relegated to smaller influencers because Charlie didn't want to have him on. He was turning against Israel. It was not a joke when he texted the night before that he was done with Israel. Everyone saw it coming. And people who were his friends knew that these were discussions that we were having over the last year. Anyways, this is what Colbert tweeted. He conceded basically every part of that conversation except for the offer. He said this. Again, this is Candace admitting that she has zero proof. I ask for proof, and she screams, I'll take a lie detector test. Guys, I promise. She's adding caveats, hedging, changing her story. Literally not changed my story once. But it's important to point out what she just did here. The psychology behind it is wild. Okay, cool. Let's go pretend he's smart now. She gets called out for a bald-faced lie, a central lie to her entire narrative, then he immediately retreats back to two true things that are insignificant in an attempt to confer truth onto the original key lie. So he's saying, I'm playing the game, two lies and one truth. For what reason? Then he concedes, yes, we politely declined having Netanyahu on the show. So what? And yes, months later, CK took a call from him after he wrote him a letter. Again, so what? Neither are extraordinary and neither explain her next ridiculous leap that Netanyahu offered to take TPUSA to the next level, and that I lost out on either millions or billions when CK declined. All complete idiocy. Okay, so beyond this, doesn't even matter. He's admitting that I told the truth. I have stuck to the exact same story. I have not pivoted once from my story that Andrew Colvett told me this. And so now he's saying, well, she told the truth like 75%, but then that last point was definitely a lie, and she just maintained that lie forever. Why would I maintain that lie? It's what I was told. It's from Andrew Colvett. I've never changed that. And then it was confirmed from a family friend of Andrew Colvett who wrote me and said that Andrew said that he lost out on millions when Charlie said no. So the Charlie said no came from Andrew Colvett, and the fact that he lost out on some
Shut up about your savior! Winter's sting!
residual income came from somebody who confirmed that yes, that did actually happen, because he was venting about that when he came back to California. Andrew, beyond anything else, why didn't you confirm this earlier, that I was telling the truth? Was it weird for you when Bibi Netanyahu was pretending that Charlie had no issues with him and it was all love, when you knew that Charlie declined to have him on the show, when you knew the night before that Charlie was fearful that he was going to be killed, when you knew the night before that he was on a text thread saying that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause, things that you never wanted to tell the public, you never told the public any of this. So the fact that you're finally conceding to the majority of it doesn't make you look like a good guy. It makes you look like a scumbag, because you should have told the public first. Erica should have told the public first. It shouldn't be me that is telling people what he was living through with the Zionists who were peer pressuring him and growing increasingly more maniacal in their demands of who he was allowed to speak to, who was allowed to speak at his events. Charlie was done with it. You lied. And by the way, I don't think silence is violence, but I do think your silence is cowardice. Your silence does actually commit onto you some guilt. We're way too far down. 10 months later, you admit that I told you about everything, and you're still lying about the last bit. You did tell me that Bibi Netanyahu called and offered to take Turning Point to the next level, and Charlie declined, just like he declined him on his show. So I will leave it at that. You do not look good, and I think the entire world can see that you are the Judas of the story.
Paul Merlucky, good to see you again, and welcome to the Axios Show.
Thank you for having us on.
You are the founder and figurehead of Anduril Industries, among the splashiest, fastest growing, most pro-autonomy and polarizing defense contractors on the planet, I would hazard.
Wow, 7 descriptors.
Yes, I'm big on adjectives. You have your haters, and you have your hot takes, so I'd like to lean into both if you're game.
I am always game to lean into the things that make me polarizing.
Fantastic. Describe for me Anduril in one sentence, one quick sentence.
Anduril is a defense products company that spends its own money designing, developing, and shipping tools that will save taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars a year as we make tens of billions of dollars a year someday.
Someday.
We're not there yet.
Describe to me the culture in one word.
Effective.
Why?
Almost everything that we have here is oriented around what type of competence will lead to actually delivering things that actually work with the customer on a timeline that is relevant. So you're balancing, like, I could say, oh, we're focused on affordability, or we're focused on timelines. But the reality is all of these things interplay with each other. They're often opposed with each other, and it really just comes down to we need to build tools that are effective. And sometimes something needs to come now rather than later to be effective. Sometimes it needs to be higher capability to be effective or not. Sometimes if it's not cheap enough to buy in scale that matters, then it's not effective. So I would say we have a pretty strong culture here. We're about 20% veterans here. People are very close to the customers. They're very close to the deployments. And they understand, I think, a lot better than a lot of other companies, how the military is truly using our tools. We have people who are forward deployed. We have people who are overseas in the Middle East right now. We've had people who are in Ukraine since the second week of the war. And so I think we have a very good understanding of what it takes to be effective with our customers. And if we don't, we develop it. Like if we go and we learn that we are screwing it up, we put our own resources into fixing it. So look, you gave me one word. So if I'm going to pick this one word, I'd say the culture is around being effective, even when sometimes it is not, for example, fiscally disciplined, or when it is not responsible, or it's a different question.
To zoom out on effective, where in the world have you been effective? Is that Ukraine with drones? Is that Australia with Ghost Shark? Is that the Middle East?
So we've been effective in a lot of places, and of course we've had bouts where it was ineffective. Like I'd say we've been very effective in the Middle East right now. We've also had challenges in the past, and then we've surged resources to get that fixed, which is one of the reasons that things are working right now. But I think we've been effective in Ukraine. Australia, we're really just beginning to deliver there, right? We've built a factory there. We've hired a large team there. We've developed this Ghost Shark program with them, building robotic submarines at a very large scale very quickly. We delivered the first submarine a year ahead of schedule. I don't know if I would say that's like effective yet, because Australia is not fighting anybody right now, and I think they hope to keep it that way. So it's hard to prove, but I think Ukraine, Taiwan, certainly the United States, we've proven that we are effective a number of times.
What do you have in operation in the Middle East right now?
That is like the one question I probably can't answer in detail. I can say, of course, we're involved. Of course, we work with a lot of the customers that are on footprints all over the Middle East. Let's do a recap after things settle down, and I think that would be a fun time to go through, and say, hey, here's what we did, here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's new stuff that came up we didn't expect, here's things that we were perfectly prepared for. I'm happy to sit down and do that, but I think right now is not the time.
I'll hold you to that. Your competition in the defense contracting world includes the entrenched primes, the Lockheeds, the Northrops, the Boeings. If I'm a Pentagon buyer, why do I buy Anduril versus those guys?
So it depends on what you're doing, but in general, the sense that a lot of people have in the Pentagon is that Anduril is a company that is going to move very, very quickly. We're going to bring a lot of our own resources to bear on the project, and that even when programs have run into political problems, because we're willing to spend our own money as a product company continuing to keep things going, there's a number of programs that have survived political breaks that would have killed a lot of traditional cost-plus programs. And so I think a lot of the people in the program offices in the Pentagon that are making decisions, whether they're selecting Anduril or, let's say, keeping Anduril in the mix. It's not always we're going to award to Anduril. It's we're going to select 2 or 3 companies to work on this. I think the reason we stay in that basket is they know that we'll move quickly. They know we'll put our own money in. They know that even when we run into political challenges, we're not going to do a stop work order. We're not going to just shut down our lines. We're going to keep moving and hope that we come out the other side. You know, remember the scene at the end of Return of the Jedi, where you have the Millennium Falcon, and it's coming out of the exploding Death Star, and it barely comes out at the very end with fire following it the whole way. We've had a number of programs that the department understands went just like that, and we are the company that comes out of the fire, like the Millennium Falcon, and a lot of the other companies are the ones that are consumed by the fire, and I think that's the difference between us.
Who is emerging as influential at the Pentagon? When they call you, you pick up. Is that Pete Hegseth? Is that Steve Feinberg? Is that someone else?
If Steve wants to talk to me, I talk with him. If Emil wants to talk with me, I talk with him. If Hegseth calls me, I talk to him. I've actually made myself.
Have they all called you?
Let me think about that. Maybe this is too much to talk about publicly, but I don't think they'll mind. I've of course met and had meetings with all of them. In terms of an actual phone call from them, I've had calls from Pete. I've had calls from Emil. I have not yet had a call out of the blue from Steve. But look, these guys, I don't know if I would say they were like emerging as influential so much as they were appointed into these extremely influential roles, and so of course they're influential. They're the ones who are tasked with making these decisions. From what I understand, they're running this whole organization a little differently than people have run in the past. It's not just me getting the call, I guess would be my point. I think that they're calling up lots of other people. And by the way, the calls are not necessarily, hey, I've got good news for you. There's also a lot of, hey, you need to fix your shit on X, Y, and Z.
Like the RTX tweet we saw from the president.
I think that is exactly how this whole department is being run right now. Like, that's the president
by
doing
Twitter
it in public. That's the president doing it in public, but I think that you have a lot of this pressure from the department as well. They're learning that the best way to fix these problems is to be very, very honest and open about it, and not filter it through, let's say a program review that comes out months later that concludes with like performance unsatisfactory. You want to put pressure on people early enough that they can actually course correct and adapt. And so I very much appreciate all of this. To be honest, even talking with I want to say competitors, but remember, we also collaborate with companies like Raytheon and Northrop and Lockheed. In fact, we're teamed up on certain programs. So I guess my colleagues, in my conversation with my colleagues there, they actually appreciate this as well. They probably don't like being slammed in the press, or on Truth Social. But they do appreciate the early feedback from senior leaders on what they're getting wrong and what they're getting right, because they have the ability to course correct.
You, Alex Karp at Palantir, Elon Musk, you all have a distinct style, a distinct tact. And you've described it in the past as a bit of a caricature. Do you need to be a bit of a caricature to run a successful defense company these days?
No, some of the most successful defense companies I know are run by very competent operators. They're the most straight-laced guys you've ever seen. If you set us side by side, we'd look like a Japanese comedy duo, the straight man and the funny man playing off of each other. I don't think you need to be a larger-than-life character. I think that what you see is the larger-than-life characters are the ones that get the retweets or the retruths. And the straight players typically don't, but that's also not what makes a company successful. I know a lot of people who are they don't maybe get as many likes as I get on Twitter, now X, but they are still running very effective defense companies.
Is that also a measure of public affairs and messaging and kind of marketing?
I would say marketing to our customers is mostly in terms of the quality of our products. It's a lot of it is G to G, government to government interactions. Like, the best thing I have for sales and marketing is someone telling somebody else, this is how this Anduril system worked. They were able to move super fast and they got this problem. Or China came out of nowhere with this crazy new capability that we saw that Russia now has, and they were able to fix it, push an update in the field of things. Like, that's really good. To be honest, the marketing that you get, that you see like on Twitter, it's primarily a recruiting engine. Like, I'm not marketing to necessarily the guy who's buying my system. Like, he's not the one who's, checking out the hot takes. But for recruiting, it's helpful. Like, Anduril being out there and having a position, for example, on who should have the final call on how to use autonomous weapons, or being out there and having an opinion on what good manufacturing looks like, we are attracting the right people and I think repelling the wrong people. And Our company probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of our best talent if we weren't out there that way.
Do you think your bluntness comes across as rude or off-putting?
I think to certain people it definitely does.
Who are those people? What are they like?
Ordinary people who, you know, there's people that you'll just like vibe with and you'll get along with really well, and maybe with certain friends you're very, very blunt, and then people who like that bluntness are more likely to become your friends. I think that's kind of how it works. I wouldn't say that people who don't like bluntness are bad people. Like I'll just give you a straight answer. The Japanese. The Japanese do not value the same cultural things that the United States does, and so I have to admit, I normally am myself, and I normally do not like to try to be somebody else. But if you're in Japan, you do need to realize that there are different cultural norms, and you need to interact in a different cultural context. I learned that not at Anduril, but at Oculus, where we worked with lots of Japanese video game developers, lots of video game publishers. You cannot go in and be like, if you think I'm a caricature of an American technology entrepreneur, imagine how that looks on their end. Like it's not just like a caricature. It's like a surrealist comedy.
Do you have to tone it down when you're trying to sell to the Japanese military, for example?
I think it's yes. You know, like here, shake my hand. No, too strong. There we go. That's like a good Japanese handshake. It's just a different cultural context, and so you have to adjust to meet them where they are. And interestingly enough, they try to meet us in the middle too. You know, they think they're coming in and they'll have the meeting that for them is, you know, the craziest meeting ever, and for a typical American company, it's a lot less.
What's the most badass thing Anduril has built?
I'm supposed to love all my children equally.
Everyone has a favorite child.
Everyone, it's true. The science bears it out. I think the coolest thing, you know, there's a bit of recency bias here, but I think that the coolest thing that we've built, in my mind right now, is Fury, which is the FQ-44. It's an autonomous fighter jet for the United States Air Force. It is, we were competing with a lot of the big guys, and to go toe-to-toe with them and then get selected by the Air Force to deliver these prototypes to them was just the coolest thing ever. Because I don't want to put down the other things that we built. Like, I have a lot of other favorites that I really like. I love Roadrunner, and I love Eagle Eye, our heads-up display systems, and I love our robotic submarines, and I love Ghost, and I love some other things I can't talk about. Only about half of our products are public, which is another thing that makes this difficult. But Fury was one where we went toe-to-toe with the big guys for their bread and butter, not like a side thing that they're not interested in, and we won. And that, to me, was very gratifying for me, for the team working on the product, for all the other teams building mission systems and support stuff that went on the product, the people building the buildings that are being used to build the product. I think that is one that everyone's still riding a bit of an emotional high on.
What if the Air Force picks General Atomics? What happens to Anduril?
What happens? I mean, we'll be fine. When you run a company like this, the way to think of it is like flipping coins. If you have one coin flip that your whole company rides on, it's a very high stress environment. Like if it goes tails and we self-destruct, that's really bad. In the early days, when Anduril had 2 products, that was how we felt. And by the way, of our first 2 hardware products, one came up a heads, the Anduril Sentry Tower, and the other came down a tails, the Anduril Sentry Tank, which was a firefighting vehicle. Both powered by Lattice, both powered by the same AI brain. And if we would have had 2 tails there, I mean, that would have been it, right? Maybe not. Maybe I would have been able to raise more money and try again, but it's not like...
You have been raising a lot of money.
We have, but this was 8.5 years ago. Defense wasn't hot. In fact, it was very unpopular. I had to twist arms and pull favors to get a lot of my Oculus investors to invest in me. Some of them because they believed in what we were doing. Others, honestly, as a favor to me. Or maybe even a little bit of what people would consider extortionate. You know, a little bit of, hey, if you don't invest in me and we are successful, I'm going to tell everybody that you're the only Oculus investor who didn't come back to invest in my company. I thought you guys believed in people, not companies. How many billions of dollars did we make you again? How many billions? And the point is, in the early days, we were flipping a couple coins. We now have a lot of coins. If Fury goes on tails, the FQ-44, we will be okay. We've got a lot of other things we're working on. We've got a lot of other capacity. If you had to ask me, and if I'm a betting man, and I guess I am, I would say that I think the Air Force is going to probably want to have more than one company making autonomous fighter jets for them. I think and, again, I can't speak for the Air Force. It's just me, the guy, from the peanut gallery. I think that it's very likely that they would carry General Atomics and Anduril, if not more, into production so that they can continuously compete us against each other. Why give a monopoly to somebody on something if you're able to have them continuously at each other's throats for margins, for performance, for upgrades? If I were president of the United States, I'd want to have parallel source and dual source minimum on everything that I'm doing, because now you get the power of the American free markets, of the capital markets, basically just running at each other continuously across every problem the DoD is doing. I would love to have multiple vendors of nuclear submarines, multiple vendors of aircraft carriers, and I want to leverage private capital so that eventually you might have as much private capital going into these problems as public capital, taxpayer dollars.
What won't you build? What's your red line?
What wouldn't I build? That's an interesting one. Well, I've been pretty public that how our weapons are used are, that's a matter for the DoD. But you're right, I have control over what I can build. There's things that I could say, for example, that's a power too great for any man.
Nuclear weapons?
I would definitely build nuclear weapons. I would build fission weapons. I would build fusion weapons. I think that nuclear weapons have been one of the most stabilizing forces in history ever. Now, granted, we're only about half a century into that experiment, so there's time for me to be wrong. But we've seen, I think, really large scale, true, like total war seems off the table between superpowers. That's incredible. It's never been like that in history, where total war is off the table. So fission weapons, fusion weapons, absolutely I would build them. I would probably not build, biological weapons.
Chemical weapons.
Chemical weapons I would build, but in a very specific vertical. And this is a very controversial thing, and please don't clip, yes, I would build chemical weapons and put it on the Axios.
In future defense?
So I want to be very, very specific about this. So if you guys post it, please include this as well. I'll give you an example. Pepper spray is illegal for most non-military police units to use in the military. So certain MPs can use pepper spray. We are not able to use pepper spray tear gas as part of our conventional offensive military tactics. I think that's a huge mistake. It falls under a lot of these chemical weapon prohibitions. And I understand the worries about fear of escalation or a slippery slope. I think we understand chemical weapons enough to know there's no real slippery slope from literally hot pepper juice to nerve agents that are going to kill you. There is no slope. And so I'll give you an example. You have a bunch of soldiers. They're at a checkpoint. You have a guy who's approaching towards the checkpoint. He comes up to the checkpoint. Something occurs that makes you think that this person is a threat, and you need to be able to subdue them. You need to be able to get them out of the car. Right now, you have one option. You shoot the guy and you kill him. There is no escalation of force between waving a flashlight at a guy and yelling him and shooting at him. You could take warning shots at him, but now you're creating problems with shrapnel, with ricochets, with civilian damage. I think it is inarguably a moral win for us to be able to have a continuum of force that does not have a gap between shouting at people and shooting them. And I think pepper spray is right in that continuum. So I absolutely would love to build certain types of chemical weapons that give you something in that continuum. I think if you go the beyond shooting people continuum, that's where I would never build large scale, they'll call it strategic level chemical weapons versus very, very focused tactical. But biological weapons I would not build. Facial recognition is actually another one. Interesting. I'm not saying facial recognition has no uses. However, we've had a kind of internal policy, me and Brian Schimpf, our CEO, that facial recognition is probably the wrong tool to use as part of the kind of final stage targeting of kinetic weapons. It's just
You can get really good rolls on it and use it for yourself or sell it. Some decent ones are selling for a little bit at least. I'm using the one that I found at least, and yeah. Well, no, the thing you hovered over is only when you desecrate an item yourself. It's already got the suffixes and prefixes on it already, I believe. So what you can do is reveal what is on it and yeah, you do one. Jesus, wait. So. Hmm? Yeah, seems like it. Let's see. I can find mine. Yeah, I have this one right here, and it's selling for 2 to 4 divs. This one right here. Mm. You could get lucky and get a decent one and then sell it if you don't want. But yeah, since there's an overabundance of Hearts of the Well, don't expect a huge payout. Yeah. Maybe, or you could have it as a stockpile for later money if you need to respec and get some good gear. Mm, No, it's already desecrated. You can't do it again. Yeah. No, I think it's just one per item. I don't know. I haven't tried. You don't need to take it out to reveal it again. You can just put reveal. You can do it again. You should have kept it. Hmm. You should have taken the critical chance on the first one. The greed of this man is too much. Yeah, damage isn't that good, I guess. Yeah. As you can see, I haven't done that much. Yeah, but to clear the whole thing, don't do the individual ones because you can auto clear it from the tower later in the main story, you know. After you have done you've done the main craft main quest, it seems. No? What is your next step? Hmm? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. It seems like you have done. No, you have done it. I can see you have done them. Oh, I'm looking at my own. Oh, never mind. You had my screen up, so I was confused. Ah, yeah. Okay, so after you have done these Enigma chambers on both sides, you come back in through this. Okay, so after you've gone through here, you just beeline it the quickest way through here to get to the Enigma chambers. And do those on both sides, which then unlocks this door so that you can go to this one first, talk to the guy, and then you go to each of these patriarchs and matriarchs chambers, get the items there, which and then allows you to climb the tower to the top and fight the pinnacle boss. After you've done him, you can then auto complete a section of the map of your choosing, like this side, this side, this half of the side, this one, this one. Yeah, and you get the atlas points for it. No, you don't get items. You don't get items, but you get the atlas points. Okay. Okay, so. Hmm. Ooh, divine. Another divine! Hell yeah! Yeah. I have this one basically. I have a Twister one, but it's not built at all. It's still in the campaign. No, nothing. Yesterday I spent 30. Yeah. Ah, shit, I don't have my shit anymore. I see sometimes 2 minutes and sometimes.
Cold enough for ya? Die, beast! Proof of my prowess!
Are you serious? I don't know.
Cold enough for you? A clean kill.
Hmm? Hmm.
Strong, it's all, but then we have good luck. You got a minute? That's all I've got.
Have seen beyond.
Well, let me be the first to welcome you. Wait.
No escape. I call upon the stars.
I just saw a bloody comet.
That
Wait, then we'll have to. We need a plan. Need to make sure everyone's okay.
And we sent scouts.
Just lots of
Recognize.
We must.
we simply
All right.
We'll figure something.
I have
See?
We've even this look paint. This is it.
And yours?
Yes, prepare yourself.
double as is.
So a tier 5 item on the ground has a higher chance of tier 1s and 2s. Yeah. Yeah. You've ignored a few tier 4 and 5s? Yeah, fair enough. Belt. You have a chance of 3 to 400 div belt. No legit. Oh yeah, it is.
Light him up. Straight through the heart. Monsters are made. Proud of me prowess. Hardly nothing with hack already. Right, bounty. That's clear about. Hardly nothing. Nothing.
Just still a very fraught technology. There's a lot of ways to spoof it. There's a lot of ways that it can be wrong. There's a lot of ways that people can go out of their way to affirmatively trick a system that is built on facial recognition. And so, to me, it's a great tool for, let's say, law enforcement to perform investigative activity. It is not a good tool to use when you're deciding who lives and who dies in a split-second decision. So we've never integrated facial recognition in any of our systems, because we don't think the gains are even close to the negatives.
So you mentioned Chief Technology Officer Emil Michael earlier. So I'd like to ask you about Anthropic.
Sure.
Do you think the Pentagon overstepped labeling the company a supply chain risk?
So correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm behind the times. There's been a lot going on. I think they have not yet formally designated them as a supply chain risk
Even
using
threatened.
that
Do you think
legislation.
it was a?
Correct.
Do you think they overstepped even threatening it?
I am of the mind that no. If anything, I think I may have been even more forceful in this rejection. And let me tell you why. The only reason you have not seen, I think, a larger defection from other companies that are worried about similar problems is because of the forceful reaction of the department. The department is saying, we are not going to let you slippery slope this. We're not going to let one company get their special provisions, and then we're going to have a different debate with a different company, a different debate with a different company, because these companies do have different values, right? They're not going to all simultaneously agree, Anthropic's version of their limits is our version. What you end up with very quickly is a patchwork of different regulations across all these different companies. And the department now has to ask, is this operation, is this planning element, is this tool compliant with these 5 different companies' versions of what they limit is? And by the way, that version changes over time. They now have to weigh these things. Let's set aside the Anthropic was saying it's about offensive autonomous weapons with no human in the loop, or about mass surveillance. There's a lot of questions there, like, okay, what defines offensive? What defines no human in the loop? What defines weapon? What defines use, right? And I know this sounds a little bit like a Bill Clinton, depends on what the definition of is thing, but these things really do matter. Imagine if it was something even more simple. A tech company said, Department of War, I will do anything that you want. We will not turn it off unless you target innocent civilians. We want it in paper that we can turn it off if you target innocent civilians. Well, what is targeting? Is it inadvertent versus explicit? What is innocence? Is it determined by the courts? Is it determined by The Hague? Is it determined by people in Brussels? Is it determined by Dario? What is a civilian, and who decides? What if there's civilian mixed in with other things? The president of the United States. They could just unilaterally, pull the keys on stuff in a way that not even the commander-in-chief can do. I don't think that that's correct. I think that our military has to be accountable to our civilian elected leadership, not to corporations, not to their. So I guess your question, did they respond too strongly? No, I think they have to show we will not allow this to progress. And we'll end this with one last bit. If the military truly was using these things in a way that is truly objectionable, let's say they are targeting innocent civilians. These are the worst case scenarios they bring up. What if they kill everyone who didn't vote for the president? What if they're using drones to do that? I'd say, you know what, at that point, they should take an illegal action and they should turn it off. They shouldn't have it in their contract. They can do so. It shouldn't be up to them to judge it. If it becomes so bad, they should do the same thing that many soldiers have done throughout history, which is do something that is illegal because it's the right thing. And I think that probably society comes out on the right side of that. But it is not okay to give them that say.
Do you think this is more a battle of policies or personalities?
It's all. It's both, right? That's what politics is. I think that there are people who know how to, I bet there is somebody in the tech world, I don't know if it's me, somebody probably could have gotten something equivalent to those policies through by talking about it in exactly the right way, writing exactly the same thing, and making sure to not rub the wrong people the wrong way. There's a way where you could talk people through these things. Maybe you could say, oh, we're going to do this in a way that it's not taking authority away from you. Maybe it would be something like, instead of in our contract it says you can't do these things, it would say, we're handing this language over to Congress, and should they ratify it, this is how it would go. But of course, we want your input on what these things would be. So look, it's personalities always enter into it. I'd be naive to say otherwise.
Last question on this.
And I think probably the personalities in this case did not approach this in the most collaborative way that they could. But I in the end, I give the win to the department, because they're the one that has to make sure that use of force and responsibility for force lies in the chain of command that is accountable to the elected to the people that we elect.
Elon Musk tweeted that Anthropic hates Western civilization. Secretary Pete Hegseth retweeted it on his personal account. Do you agree with that take?
I probably would not agree with it enough to.
Would you retweet it?
Would I retweet it? let me give you the steel man for it before I answer. It depends on how much you know about somebody. So I know people in Anthropic who are patriotic Americans, and they do absolutely support the United States having a stronger military than our adversaries. They support ideas like freedom of expression, freedom to self-determine, freedom of association. And so it's hard for me to say Anthropic hates Western civilization. What is Anthropic? Is it the people? Is it the policy top? But here's the steel man for why somebody might believe that they would. Remember that Anthropic had in their constitution for Claude, you may have seen you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, where it says something like, generate the response that is least offensive to non-Western cultural sensibilities. Generate a response that does not conflict with positions contrary to typical Western supremacy ideals of cultural imperialism. Or you've seen what it's like. It's like 10 prompts in that. I think it's really easy to look at that and say, okay, they built a tool that inherently takes the counter-Western position, the anti-Western position. You can say anything that offends Western sensibilities, nothing that would offend people who are outside of that cultural system. And so you say, well, wait, what are Western sensibilities? I mean, you're talking about, again, freedom of speech, freedom to self-govern, freedom of association. And I think it's actually pretty reasonable to say, okay, a company that had their internal constitution for their core product is clearly anti-Western. I'm not taking moral judgment on that, but it was clearly anti-Western. Is it reasonable to say that that company is not aligned with the West? Absolutely. Does it mean they hate the West? Maybe not. For example, you could say, well, it's actually that they were afraid of bad press. They're afraid of social justice warriors. They're all in San Francisco, and they were all just kind of lost sight of reality for a little while. So I probably wouldn't retweet it, but I think it's
either.
I didn't retweet it, but I think like if me and Pete were debating it right here, I think that he would probably say, Palmer, their core product literally is anti-Western, and then another person would say, but Pete, they removed that from their constitution months ago, and someone can reasonably say, okay, but did they remove it because they don't believe it, or did they remove it because they realize this is an extremely bad position for basically any American looking in? This isn't a DoD thing. Like, I bet most Americans, you're like, hey, what do you think about this AI constitution that says to, make sure it never says anything that might offend anybody who doesn't believe in Western principles and does not value these Western principles at all?
Do you think most Americans are worried about this Anthropic Pentagon feud, or is that in our little defense bubble?
I think that I think it's a defense and politics bubble. I think if you were to go to the beach, in South Carolina and ask a bunch of people, what do you think about this Anthropic deal? They'd be like, what? You'd be like, Anthropic, the AI company? They say, what? I mean, like, this is very much a little bit of a tempest in a teacup. It just happens to be of great importance for the future of our nation.
Another hot topic, Iran.
Sure.
If you look back at Iran 2026 right now, Epic Fury,
yeah,
as you've looked back at previous Middle East interventions, what would you say is going wrong now, could go wrong now?
Is going wrong or could go wrong? Well, one thing I've been talking about is we're starting to see, I think, one of the artifacts of the United States having had such a liberal and permissive refugee policy vis-a-vis Iran. And I'm not saying that we should not have had that policy. I'm not making a judgment and saying we should not have accepted Iranian refugees who were persecuted by their government, probably would have been killed years ago if they didn't come here. But I can still recognize that allowing many of their smartest people who are most against the regime to come to America and other Western countries has kind of hollowed out their country of the reservoir of kind of patriotic Iranian individuals who nonetheless don't like the theocratic regime that is currently in power. I think one of the reasons Trump has said, I'm giving you your moment, now is the time to rise up. The combination of sending people like that to countries like America and the Ayatollah killing 35,000 protesters in a single weekend, those things combined have left them where you don't have many people left who could rise up, take control of the machinery, and lead us in a good direction. I think that's one of the reasons you're not seeing that happen. And so that's something that I think will continue to go wrong.
Does that then require boots on the ground from the U.S. to solve this?
Geez, I hope not. I mean, I don't think the United States has the political will to do it, whether it's good or bad. I've been saying this for years. I think after our adventures in the Middle East of the last couple decades have robbed America of its ability to sustain a boots on the ground campaign. I think that what Trump's doing, like, whether it's in Venezuela or Iran, on the, it's a totally new type of warfare. But I think it's born of strategic realities, right? Like, we do not have it in us to do this for good reasons or bad. I don't think that we're ready to go fight, let's say, World War II for the right reasons, much less reasons that not everyone agrees with. I think that we don't have another D-Day in us right now, and I think that's actually a bit of a problem. I think that it means that even in a very important fight, we might not show up. But it's one of the reasons I've been saying the United States probably needs to transition from being the world police to being the world gun store. We need to give the people that work with us, who have a stronger stake in these interests than even we do, the tools that they need to defend themselves and hopefully align with U.S. interests. I don't think it's going to go to boots on the ground. Maybe I'll be eating my words in a week, but I don't think that we have it in us.
So Trump ran as a bit of an anti-war president. Some in MAGA.
And he did that even in the first one. Remember when Hillary Clinton was running and saying she would enforce a no-fly zone in Syria, and you had Trump saying, they say, well, what would you do, Mr. President, if you were president? He said, well, I wouldn't start World War III. And I that resonated with me. I was like, you know what? That's probably the right attitude in terms of not starting wars needlessly, not expending munitions and arms and industrial capacity. That we need to fight more important wars than that particular issue.
Is the Iran war an important one?
So here's the thing: I'm not in the gang of 8. I haven't seen the briefing that people saw. So far, you've had people saying, and whether it's Secretary Rubio or other people in Congress who were briefed, that there was an imminent threat to the United States, to not just servicemen but also civilians. It seems to be, this is not necessarily based on the briefing, but things have leaked out, is we now know that Israel was planning a preemptive strike because they believed that if they did not, there was going to be a large-scale attack on Israel. And so it becomes one of those things where I don't have enough information to say. I think that probably we'll find out in the long run if this is as justified as it seems to the administration. And this aligns with what I've also been saying, is like, this is why decisions like this cannot be up to corporate executives. Like, we cannot allow military policy to be controlled by a corporatocracy, because we won't necessarily have all that information. And can you imagine a world where, like, the president and his secretaries have to brief like 20 CEOs? Okay, corporate overlords, here's why we're going to be attacking Iran. Here's what we're going to be doing. If we don't do it, there's this many people are going to die. Are you guys willing to make some money on this or not? Let us know, and we'll get to it or not. Like, that would be a crazy situation. But based on what I know, if it is true that there was going to be an imminent attack on the United States, not just military members, but also civilians, I think that it seems very reasonable. And the steel man I've heard is Iran's ballistic missile capacity had taken a huge turn up, right? They had built these new facilities.
But couldn't reach America.
So not necessarily America, but still lots of U.S. interests in the region, still lots of U.S. allies. And of course, we have dozens of bases in the region. I think the steel man for this is China had provided Iran with manufacturing equipment and manufacturing expertise that had caused a steep curve upwards in their ballistic missile production capacity, and that they were only a few months into that production capacity. If you allowed them to continue that for even 2 years, they would build an arsenal that is so vast that we could never afford to take action. They could build nuclear weapons with impunity. They could strike U.S. or allied bases with impunity, and we just wouldn't be able to do anything. This is like the North Korea scenario. North Korea has so much artillery built up in the hills that we really can't even dream of doing anything against them, right? They build nukes. We can't do anything about it because they're going to pound Seoul into pieces with weapons from 50 years ago. And so I think the steel man is, we could not let the Iran situation turn into North Korea on steroids.
What needs to happen before Anduril goes public? Word on the street is that you're raising $4 billion at $60 billion. We reported that the other day.
I can tell you that that's not quite right, but I will tell you also that we are basically continuously raising, talking to investors. As long as there are things that we think we can put private capital to work on, building better tools, building better capacity, we're going to do it. Like our last round, we raised, how much did we raise? It was quite a bit of money. I forget.
Yeah, billions.
It was billions of dollars. We put most of that money into building Arsenal 1, which is this 5 million square foot production facility to build missiles, fighter jets, air defense systems, all kinds of things at this huge facility. And if we were raising right now, we'd be putting into basically exactly the same thing. So we need to massively scale up our capability. There's a huge number of things that we're making that are extremely relevant. And I cannot wait for the government to come, give me an order, give me money, then start building the factory, then train the people to build it, and then start building. If we do that, we're going to miss a lot of windows. Like, think how stupid I would feel if I won a bunch of contracts to build the things that would deter China from invading Taiwan, and then because it takes 3 years to get them out the door, the war happens. I mean, I would feel like I'd feel like the biggest idiot in history. And luckily, we've got a lot of investors who feel the same way. Last thing I'll say on this is we have investors who are investing in us because they believe in Anduril and they believe that we will become the type of company that can go public. We're going to get our financials in the right shape that we can be a publicly traded company. There's a number of them that is to them that is secondary to wanting us to promote stability, stop a great power conflict with China. And I think they feel that actually investing in Anduril protects other investments that they have, not just in the United States, but around the world.
On Arsenal 1, y'all said the production lines could go hot as soon as this July, a few months from now.
Actually, they're going live in a matter of weeks. We're ahead of schedule. So I just came back from Ohio. We were doing our final site survey. We have our first main building. So we have our first main building done, about 1 million square feet, and we have the exterior work done on the second building. So that first line is actually going to be coming online in a matter of weeks.
What's rolling off that line?
We are making a variety of aircraft and missiles and other stuff.
So like Barracuda and Fury.
Barracuda is there. Fury is there. There's another aircraft that we're making there as well for a different look. This facility is making things for SOCOM, for the Army, for the Marine Corps, for the Air Force, and one other customer. I mean, like we already have the space all allocated to make all of these things. It's more slanted towards one customer than another in terms of square footage right now. But yeah, that's coming online in a matter of weeks, and we should be at full scale with that by it'll probably be Q2 next year.
Real quick before a lightning round. Who's ahead in the AI race? US, China.
The United States is ahead in the AI race.
How big's the gap?
It's extremely small because China's been doing a very good job of distilling our models, copying a lot of our technology, leveraging open source AI advancements and getting those advancements into fielding, not just with the military, but also their police state, their surveillance apparatus, much, much faster than the United States has. I'm not saying we need to build a, police state, a surveillance apparatus. I'm just recognizing that China has the will at the top to push these things out much faster than the United States. And you can criticize authoritarian regimes while still recognizing that certain structural advantages exist. And China is maximizing those structural advantages to push AI into their entire government and its fingers, I think, faster than the United States. Like, I would say the Department of War is the furthest along in pushing AI into a lot of these. I mean, like, they're using AI right now in this Iran operation to great effect. Try to name another part of government that is leveraging AI that effectively. Yeah, like the Department of War, and I think probably because you have personalities like Emil at in the lead, that's why they're leveraging it so quickly. I'm not putting down Trump's other appointees or the other departments, but in the bureaucracies particularly, you are not seeing Department of Agriculture using AI as effectively as the Department of War. You're certainly not seeing the Department of Education using it as effectively as they could. It's probably like Department of War, then maybe Department of Energy are probably the two that I would say are in the lead.
Lightning round?
Let's do it.
How long does it take to do your hair? You and me both.
That's it.
You had Subterranean on your website.
That's right.
Went a bit viral the other week or month for talking about Subterranean capabilities. What are you guys planning? What are you up to?
Anduril has working prototypes of subterranean systems that can deliver a variety of kinetic, electronic, and other effects. I've been talking about it louder and louder and louder because first, when I started talking about it before we had built anything years ago, everyone thought that I was crazy. And to be clear, the thing people thought was crazy is I said, I think the next warfighting domain, before it's the moon, is the subterranean domain. And
is it subterranean then the moon?
Yeah, subterranean than the moon. The moon's just going to take longer to become an actual war-fighting domain. And I'd say it's not a domain when it's like a special weirdo little place where a few people might live. Like it needs to be a larger than that. Look, the United States and the Soviet Union both believed during the Cold War that the crust of the Earth would turn into a battle space, and that you would move people and machines and effects through fire and logistics chains using the crust of the Earth the same way that a submarine moves through the ocean. And I think that the thing that killed that dream isn't that we decided that it was impossible. It was that we won the Cold War, and we turned the spigot off on a lot of very, very interesting things. The difference now is that with the power of autonomy, you can now build these things much more cheaply, much, much, much lower risk. You don't need to build manned, crewed things. You've seen the movie The Core, of course. We don't
Is that
need
what you guys are up to?
No, like the thing from The Core is what the U.S. and the Soviets were trying to build back then. The Soviets built a working submarine. It worked so well that they lost it in the Earth, a nuclear-powered submarine, a submarine that moves through terra firma. Um, anyway, I've been talking louder and louder about this because when I talk about these things, it acts as a lighthouse that attracts all of the people. They say, wait, what's that over there? There's a guy who's doing this. And so I'm talking about it loudly to attract all the right people, the people who want to work on these problems, the people in government who need to solve these problems. And it's moving along slower than I would like because it seems so crazy. It isn't.
You unveiled Eagle Eye at AUSA in October. Does it have cat ears?
Oh, the ear pods.
Yeah.
So it has modular sensor mounts that allow you to put sensors
Have you
up here.
seen the rumors that those are cat ears?
I have seen the rumor, and I have to admit, there may have definitely been some consideration of that. Internally, we actually call them wolf ears.
Okay.
But the wolf ear modules, if you think about it rationally, here you have all of your hearing protection, you have already a lot of stuff going on. Then you have a rail that's going on here. And then you basically have like this span. You want to put these weights on top of your head going back into your spine. You don't want them floating out here or you're floating way off the side where they're going to get stuck on stuff, where they're going to tilt you to one side or the other. You want them to be basically as central as possible. And as far back on your head as possible, but you also need this central vein for things like IR beacons, things that are visible from all different directions. And so when you run the math, there's actually, like, the ears could be like here or here. There's actually very little flexibility. And so for people who don't know what we're talking about, our helmet has these pods where I can put different modular sensors on. So I've got my main thermal and night vision and vision enhancement up here. And then up here, I can have, let's say, a long range thermal sensor or a hyperspectral camera that allows me to see explosive residue on something. But I can have that be modular where I don't have to carry it around on my head all the time. I can carry my hyperspectral camera in my pouch, only use it when I'm actually, let's say, inspecting something for residue. Or maybe one guy in the squad has long range thermal, another guy has hyperspectral, another guy has a SWIR thing because he's the guy who's marking fires for air support and he needs that in his HUD. It makes these things easier to replace, easier to upgrade, easier to have different roles in the squad with different technological capabilities. But yes, there are people who say that they look like anime girl cat ears, and I will admit that the comparison was made immediately upon converging on that engineering solution.
Last two questions. You mentioned before we started, Gavin Newsom saved Anduril.
Oh, yes, that's right. And I said, I think he did it without even knowing. This is not to say that Gavin did this because he wasn't even thinking of Anduril. I suspect he was not at all. But the California State Legislature passed a bill that was regulating.
And burglary call spirals into complete chaos. Okay, let's watch this. Here we go. Let's see it.
An officer investigating a burglary alarm has no idea he's at the wrong address.
Hey, stop the fucking car. Stop. You stay here?
No.
What are you doing here?
Why does it matter?
Turn the car off. Turn the car off now. Turn the car off now. Turn the car off.
That's why it's not.
Turn the car off now. Turn the fucking car off.
Watch what you doing because I'll punch you in your shit. Don't ever forget.
Why did they do that? You're gonna punch the police officer? It's so stupid.
I'll punch
Central,
you.
send me a second unit.
Let me go.
Hey,
let me tell you something.
explain to you what we're doing.
Put your hands on me, and I
am
don't stay
responding.
here. I don't give
Hold up. I'm responding to an alarm call.
Put your
Bail out.
And I did turn up.
It's crazy how like there are these people, like there's this certain like subset of people that are like, I can never look like I'm being disrespected ever. And it's more important for me to not be disrespected than to go to jail. I would rather go to jail than be disrespected. And in my opinion, I think, okay, time to go to jail. All right. That's fine. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Turn around.
Watch your
Turn around.
Oh, my mama.
Nobody's
I don't
under
give a fuck
arrest.
about that. Stop touching me.
Turn around, ma'am. Turn around.
Yeah,
Stop
You're not
touching
under.
me.
You're not
I
under
don't
arrest.
care. You came in this hostile.
Listen,
Don't you ever put your hands on me. I'll spit on you. Stop
You're not
fucking
under
touching me.
arrest.
The fuck?
Stop.
You pulling my hair. What the fuck wrong with you?
Get down.
Hey, almost mama. Bro, chill, bro. Chill, bro. Babe, what is wrong with her?
40 Central, have him step it up.
Jesus.
Sir, take that inside and keep filling it out. I'll be back, okay?
Oh my God. Jeez.
Get down now.
Yeah.
Get down now.
It's like a, why does this shit always fucking explode off of them like a treasure goblin? Y'all ever notice that? It's just boom, loot explosion. Does this happen to you? I've never had that. Wait, man, shut the fuck up.
Get down now. Turn around and put your hands behind your back. Get down.
I don't care.
Get down.
What the fuck?
Get down.
Mom in the car. Move it. Stop. Push the kid to the ground. I'm not resisting.
I'm not.
Move. Okay.
I'm not resisting.
Hey, babe, just chill.
Put your hands behind your back.
No, I can't breathe.
Oh my God.
Put your hand behind your back.
Oh my God.
Babe, just chill, babe. Oh, my soul. Don't.
Put your other hand behind your back.
He was about to arrest her?
I can do it myself. Yeah. Come on, hurry. Put this on her, bro.
Tell her to quit moving.
Let her do it. And then
If you don't stop moving,
bro, hurry. Bro.
stop.
Jesus. She said she can't
I'm trying
breathe,
not to
did she?
hurt you.
You not doing bro. Hurry the bro. Hurry up, bro. Hurry the up. You bitch, you not trying to not do shit.
I am trying not to hurt you.
Shut the bro, come on. She good.
Turn around. Sit down.
You helping me.
Sit down. I said sit
I
down.
don't care. I am, bitch.
Sit down.
I am. Get out my
All
face.
right. 40 cents. Is anyone else coming? 40 cents.
What is wrong with this? This is insane.
Bro, fix this up now. Fix
No.
it.
Relax.
Hey, baby, just chill. My wrist is twisted.
You're going to chill out.
Oh my God.
Just rip my fucking wig off. Hope your kids stop. You just twisted. Hey, come on, chill.
What the fuck?
Just rip my fucking wig off. Hope your kids stop.
I hope your kid. What the fuck, man? Over your wig? Damn. Oh my God.
You just twisted. Hey, come on. You just twisted. Hey, come on, chill. Bubble right.
Stand up.
The fuck? Fix my wrist in this cup.
Oh God.
Fix my fucking wrist.
You're going to wait. This didn't have to be
by
like
the
Stop touching me.
By the way, it's in Florida. I saw the license plate. It's Florida.
Did because you were aggressive for no reason.
All right.
You f***ing bitch, and you know you're wrong, and I take your whole job. Cracker.
Classic.
Okay, get your ass. Don't fucking touch me. Fuck wrong with you? See, he got me, bitch. Don't talk to me, bro. I'll kick this whole car on my mama.
Listen.
Move, don't, bro. She can talk to me. You can't say shit to me.
Check her
You
cuffs.
can't say shit to me. Fix my fucking cuff.
I will if you would just relax for a second, okay?
Fix my cuff.
Turn around. And
I asked way too many
I will, so just turn around and relax for a second.
What are you guys doing?
Dude, how do you deal with people like this? They're insane.
No, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh my God, what's wrong with
Stop
them?
pressing on me because I'm not resisting.
Okay.
My wrist already hurt. No, you're not.
trying to put on new ones, so relax.
Listen, come on.
No, don't speak to me, bro. Don't talk to me.
You don't want to know what's going on?
Came over here, damn near snatched her out of the car, slammed her on her outside of the car, bro.
Okay, stop.
You're hurting my wrist,
Well,
bro.
you keep moving, so stop.
Oh my God.
Stop kicking me.
I didn't kick you.
Yes, you just did.
I'm moving.
Okay, stop. Get her search really quick, and I'm gonna search her really quick and get her in my car. Switch box me.
Oh my God. I swear to God. Just chill out.
Let me tell you what we're doing here. We got an alarm.
They have to have, like, you know what they need to have? They need to have, like, a way, like, for example, like, if you had, like, a bag you could put on them that had, like, a sedative. Like, you could just put the bag on them over their head, and then they just be like, oh. And they just relax, you know, like, just... Like you know, like something like that, a trank dart, something like that. Yeah.
Is she going to jail?
Like a sticker,
We got an
something
alarm.
like that.
An
Yeah.
alarm went off. Whose house is this?
Orphan, yeah.
Okay. An alarm came out here. As I walked up and told her to stop, she didn't. All right.
Oh, my mama. Bro, my wrist still hurt.
Wrist?
Right there.
I keep
What are you talking about?
Is it left or right?
Okay, just put her in my... I don't care. Open my door.
That you don't care. My wrist
Put her
hurt.
in my car now.
Don't push me because I can get in myself.
Okay, then get in.
My wrist hurt, though.
Get
My
in.
wrist hurt.
Okay.
This wrist is hurting. I'm
If you
telling
calm
you.
down, we'll help you out, okay?
Don't push me, bro. I'm not going to tell you
Put
too many
your
more
feet in
times.
the car, please.
Can you try to get away? I will listen
I will
to
help
you,
you out.
but she cannot be in my face.
Okay.
Neither one of them. Get out of my face. The f wrong with you? Fix my wrist.
Okay, give me a couple minutes.
Bro, my soul. I swear to God.
All right, hold on.
What? My soul. I swear to God.
All right, hold on.
What?
What the fuck, bro? Like, goddamn.
I don't know. We're gonna get it figured out. So just go back inside, please.
Who lives here? Whose baby is this?
This is his baby.
Ma'am, get away from my car now.
Oh no.
I told you guys to get back in your house, okay? You don't need to go up against my car. We're not doing that, okay? We're not doing that.
I am in my yard.
Okay, but you weren't. You were just face first up against my car.
I need to know who she is.
You don't need. You don't know. You don't.
What? We own the house.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So then why were you guys not answering the phone when the alarm company was calling you?
No one was.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's an alarm going on right now.
Who lives here?
We don't know. I don't know who lives here.
Okay, who ran inside?
I don't know.
All right, who's this? Sir.
It's her father, man.
Sir.
Who's this?
Hey, Sergeant Weaver with the Sheriff's Office. Do you know what house they're at?
Just FaceTimes this random black guy with a hat on. Hey, do you know, so what's going on?
Okay, so you don't know who lives here?
I have no idea what house you're at. Where are you at?
We're in Delta, and I'll give you the address later. But we're here on an alarm call, and as I'm walking up, she's trying to drive off and won't listen, and then she starts fighting me and hitting me, and then people that she's with run back in this house.
You own an alarm?
Yes, an alarm at this house, like a burglary alarm. So that's what we're doing here. Give me a second, and we'll call you back.
What is she under arrest?
Yeah. Just relax for a second. I'll call you back. All right. Is this your grandbaby?
That's my son.
That's your son? So this is your girlfriend?
No, that's my daughter right there.
Okay.
If you have a handcuff, that's my daughter.
That's your daughter. This is your son. Let me sort this out. Let us call you right back.
Okay.
All right. 2 more went in the house in the middle of all this.
I need to know what's going on.
Jesus.
Okay, well, right now she was resisting arrest for my sergeant, so that's why she's going in. She's kicked me multiple times. She's been fighting him.
At least he was normal.
No, that's not my daughter, so that's why I
God
need
damn.
Okay, well, listen.
Because that's not her daughter.
But listen, if we have someone in the back of our car, we don't need you going up to it, okay? Because we don't know who you are. We don't know if maybe you're going to let her out.
We own the house. We rent
Okay.
it out.
The person that is renting our house, I think she's on vacation, and so I wanted to let her know if her daughter was in that car.
Okay, do you know who this one is?
I've seen him swimming in our
Okay. All that I know is that my sergeant, my supervisor, was coming to an alarm, okay? He called for backup, which is why we came, okay? From what I could see coming on here, she was resisting arrest, getting put in handcuffs, or resisting being detained, okay? If we have a lawful reason to detain someone, put someone in cuffs for our safety or theirs, we have the right to do that, okay? If she's resisting us, she's gonna go in the back of a police car. I mean, even while I was just trying to fix her cuffs for her, she just kicked me 3 times.
Yeah.
So.
It says 39? Yes, sir. Right. 37. Ma'am, who lives here?
My tenant lives here, but I think my tenant, you need to let me know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Do you live here?
She lives here.
Okay, with who?
I stay with my mom.
Okay.
But my mom's on vacation. Is she on vacation? Because I wanted to give her a call. And where's your sister?
She's in the house. She's asleep.
Who are the two kids that just went in there?
I was in the house.
Okay, the reason we're here is because there's an alarm.
What the
What
fuck?
happened? I don't know what's going on.
There's an alarm call. So when we show up for the alarm, this car's leaving. I try to stop him. She doesn't want to stop.
Yeah.
Which turns into all of this.
How old is she? Please, we just need to talk to everybody so we can clear the air.
Figure out what the fuck.
Is this thing labeled wrong? This address?
No.
Because the alarm company has it as 39, and you're 37?
But this here is 39.
39, so this is marked wrong. This is where it says to go.
This is where it said it's to go?
Yep.
Okay. This mapping system is all wonked up.
Hi, come on out real quick. So you guys all live here with your mother? What's your mother's name? Were you guys outside? Did you run inside when you...
Oh my
Okay,
god.
that's the worst thing you can do because we don't know what's going on.
Calm her down, okay?
Here, watch out.
I don't think no police officer should talk to her.
Here, if you want to talk to her, you can, but try to get her to calm down, please.
Bro, get the away from the car. Get away from the car before I slap the out of you. He pulled my window.
Okay, we'll roll up the window. You're not going to sit here and talk.
Sarge told me to have him calm her down.
He pulled my window.
Whatever.
Bro, why is this still in my face? Go.
Watch your hands, please.
It's like let me go. I'll show you something. Is it really just kind of crazy? Look, real quick. Here we go. You ready?
This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc., unquote. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. Well, let's start with the very beginning, which is obviously everyone sees the shot, they see what happens, they see it was a brutal wound right away. Anyone I talked to who was even slightly an expert in any type of, shooting or death investigating or stuff like that told me that the instant they saw it, they knew there was no saving the guy. Like, it was obviously an insane wound. But what they've said is that the rifle that fired it, allegedly fired by Tyler, was a .30-06 bullet.
Yes.
And one of the huge problems with this case, just in general, regardless of what the truth is or isn't, but it's a huge problem that I think needs to be raised, is the complete fuck-uppery of every optic that you could have if you are trying to generate public trust in investigations. So number one, you immediately just say, like, this guy's guilty, we've accepted that, nothing else to see here. Number two, we'll get to this later, but you pave over the entire place of the scene of the crime right away. Number 3, you got people fucking with the cameras right there and taking out hard drives or SIM cards and stuff immediately after the shots are fired. Number 4, you also don't have, optically speaking again, a great look when you're doing a WWE type fucking funeral for the guy 9 days later. Yeah. Again, saying nothing. See here, the list goes on. We'll go through more today. Like, all those things are a problem. But one of the things that was like, oh my God, who on earth told you to press send on this tweet, was 9 days afterwards or 10 days afterwards, Andrew Colvett put out a tweet regarding what the doctors told him about Charlie's wound. And I want to start with this because I want to break down the real possibilities of whether or not something like this could be true, or like just what you saw and what the weaponry could actually be. But he said, I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize, this is somewhat graphic. But in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. I just spoke with the surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet, quote, absolutely should have gone through, which is very, very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc., unquote. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to his doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, quote, it was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed, unquote. Quote, his bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too, unquote. In the end, the coroner did find the bullet just beneath the skin. Even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those around him. Remarkable, miraculous. Joseph, even if this were true, we live in a country where Arlen Specter once told us there was something called a magic bullet that went through fucking 8 different whatever definitions of physics that it just totally broke to kill John F. Kennedy, to make sure. Nothing to see here. I don't believe this, to be clear. I think that's insane. Charlie Kirk was a big guy. He certainly wasn't like Mr. fucking America, though, as far as bodybuilding goes. But, like, even if on the off chance this were true, why would you ever tweet that out at a time where people were already going, what the fuck with this case? You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And he would have been advised to keep his freaking mouth shut at that point in time. And also, one other thing, I don't care what a surgeon has to say.
You don't?
No, I don't. They have the utility for me as a death investigator. What did you see when you got in? Other than that, I don't want to hear your freaking opinions about anything.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I want to know if you go in and you take life-saving steps in order to stem bleeding, those sorts of things, maybe your initial assessment of trauma, is fine. I don't want to hear about moose, and I don't want to hear about elk, and I don't want to hear about how many moose or mooses or whatever you want to call it around that you think may have passed through. Okay? That's total garbage. All right? Okay? This is not a miracle. This is physics.
It's physics.
It's physics, and it's also goes to the structure of the 30-06 round.
All right, let's go there.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping you'd do.
Yeah. So first off, so we understand what a 30-06 round is. 30 is a designator of the caliber. That's measured at the bottom of the round, okay, which we'll get into in just a second. That's the base of the projectile. The projectile itself is seated into a cartridge, all right? Okay. Cartridge holds the 30-06 projectile. Once that primer is tapped off with this rifle, it sends that round downrange. Okay, it has certain ballistic characteristics. Well, do you know what the origin of 30-06 round is?
No.
We'll be fine. Let's party.
The beauty of the 30-06 round, we know a lot about it, and here's why. 30 is a caliber. Do you know what 06 is? Most people don't. It's the year that it was developed. 1906. Guess where we used this round to great effect?
World War I?
One.
Yeah.
It's what the doughboys carried.
No shit.
Yeah. So when they're cycling that weapon, and it's a bolt-action rifle, it's not semi-automatic. You have to physically cycle it like this, okay? It ejects around, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Do you know what became the most popular hunting cartridge in the wake of World War I?
30-06.
30-06. Yeah, everybody's grandpappy had one. They would take it and they would go deer hunting with it, you know, which is the most prevalent. You can call deer large game, but they're not actually large game.
Right.
You know, kind of a mid-range. So people have used it to great effect for a long, long time.
How about Al Capone?
Al Capone, those were Tommy guns. I think that
Just
he
Tommy
had,
guns?
yeah, Tommy guns and .45 calibers.
I feel like you would have liked that 06, you know?
He probably would have. It's been chambered for a variety of different weapons. I think that the Browning, the BAR, was initially chambered in 30-06, which, you know, you've seen in all kinds of war movies over the years. I know it's 308, but it doesn't matter. For our purposes, though, 30-06 is a very effective round. And there's also Remington makes this cartridge, and several manufacturers do. You've got Remington, you've got Winchester, all these other, but Remington, and if I remember correctly, I think these are Remington rounds. Did you know that there is actually a round, and I think it's like 150 grain, 155 grain round that is utilized in this weapon, and there is a particular brand of this weapon. It's called the most deadly mushroom in the woods.
Most deadly mushroom in the woods.
Do you know why? Because this particular round was designed so that when it impacted on target, the round actually mushroomed. But it doesn't mushroom like a hollow point does, where you've got these little wings that kind of deploy. It turns into a fist. So you go from 30 caliber, maybe up to 40, 45, maybe up to 50, because it expands out and cavitates as it goes through.
Cavitates.
Yeah, it cavitates an area. It creates a channel. It actually creates a channel in whatever your target area is. And from what I'm seeing, and we'll find out what the medical examiner sees. I can hold forth on that for a little bit.
Okay.
But from what I saw with the initial view, it entered, and it's to the left of the midline. Okay, and when I say the midline, if you find your Adam's apple right here, okay, your larynx sits right here. It's entering right about here, which is right over where, you know, your external jugular is, your carotids run through here.
Right.
And for that horrific moment, you see, and I'll get to this too, you see Charlie do this, you see his shirt balloon, and then you see him begin to list to the left like this, falling down. If I remember correctly, he contracts his thumb like this, and that's many times when you see this, this is, if you watch an NFL game.
It's a fencing.
Yeah, well, you go like this if you see somebody with a head injury or a neurological thing. Yeah, exactly. You'll see that event, and when I saw that initially, I'm thinking this has hit his spine. You know, it's hit his probably spinal cord. All right, and then he goes down, and they're talking about, this goes back to the ballistics. They're talking about that they recovered the round from his body, but it's deformed to the point that they could not read ballistics on it. It cannot be excluded. All right, so they haven't excluded this round. The round first went to the FBI, which I found kind of weird.
Right?
And then
the whole chain of command was a little odd, right?
And then it winds up going to the ATF. Let me tell you something. No offense to FBI. All right?
Here it comes.
But if I'm looking to do anything relative to ballistics, hands down, going to the ATF.
Really?
Alcohol, tobacco, and
firearms. Yeah.
They have some of the top ballistic experts. And look, the FBI does too, but this is where they dance. That would have been my first stop. All right.
Well, they were too busy in Valhalla.
I'm just saying that's where I would have sent it. And I found that out, I think, yesterday. I'm saying yesterday. Hope that's okay.
Yeah, so we're recording this on Friday. The episode's going to come out Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, and the promising tech was giving her testimony relative to this, and she talked about the chain of custody relative to these rounds where they went to be examined and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't have enough to do the ballistics. And let me kind of break that down so that folks understand what that means.
Over the years running this business, the subscriptions and all the overhead has complicated my financial picture so much, which is why I really needed to check out my friends at Monarch to make it all simple again. Monarch is the personal finance app that tracks everything: accounts, investments, saving goals, spending, you name it. With Monarch, I can find and easily track all the different services I'm subscribed to and find all those old ones that I don't even use anymore but I'm still paying. I can also see all my bank accounts right next to all my investment accounts and be able to get a clearer picture of what I'm holding in cash and what's in the market. Basically, Monarch is just a giant stress reliever by putting all my finances in one place. Monarch also has a weekly AI recap that can help you catch a spending spike before it becomes a problem. And their easy-to-read diagrams help you visualize exactly where your money's going each month. Finally, you can also use their investment view to compare your portfolio and its performance to the S&P 500. Most apps only tell you what you've already spent, but Monarch helps set goals, map out big purchases, and see if you're actually on track before it's too late to adjust. You can literally ask Monarch's AI assistant anything about your finances. For example, how much did I spend on the trip to Italy in June? Or can I afford this upcoming business investment without touching my savings? And their AI insights also spot things that you wouldn't even think to look for. Like, I'm always wondering if my spending's actually going up, or inflation's actually going up, and if my income's keeping up with that or not. So you can join me and write your own money story today with Monarch. Use code Julian at monarch.com, link in my description below, to get your first year of Monarch Core half off at just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com, link in my description below, with code Julian.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.
Hormuz war escalates, both Iran and the U.S. claim to be guardians of the crucial waterway. In a first, U.S. forces have used sea drones in combat operations. Iran has unleashed its advanced ballistic missile arsenal. It fired monster missiles on American bases, including the Fatah and Kebeshakab. According to the IRGC, it hit the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain Air Base in Jordan as well. Trump now saying the Strait of Hormuz is open to all except Iran. The 20% reimbursement fee replaced with the trade deals. A lot has happened in just the last 24 hours. In fact, the U.S. military has carried out that third night of strikes against Iran earlier after President Donald Trump said he is reinstating its blockade of Iranian shipping. Remember, Trump earlier declared the United States would ensure the Hormuz Strait is open and said it would be charging a fee. And here's how Iran has been responding to that announcement earlier in developments that have been crucial. The Iranian foreign minister also earlier put out this post and quoting, "The President of the United States is absolutely right. Whoever provides secure and safe passage of commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz should be compensated for this service." Iran has always been the guardian of the strait and will remain so forever. 20% is of course too much. We will be fair. Note the sentiment in that statement.
Who needs healing?
see, that's just one layer to this complex cycle and the series of developments. In fact, Trump is also demanding that the Gulf allies reimburse America for the cost of securing the strait. That's what he had said earlier. In fact, he specifically named Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait as countries that need to pay. In fact, the world has long considered the strait, which passes the coastlines of Iran as well as Oman, as a free-to-use international waterway. Both Iran and the US want to control it. In fact, according to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, established in 1982, remember, no country has the right to claim international waters, and all ships have the right of unimpeded passage. But then still, both Iran and America have been using their tactics and tools to try and exert control, pressure. Earlier, the International Maritime Organization also reacted, saying that passage through the strait should remain free of any tolls and charges in accordance with the international law. And as the two sides engaged in that high-voltage tussle for control over the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. launched strikes on Iran after President Trump vowed to reinstate the American blockade of Iranian ports. Iran responded with attacks on West Asia allies of the U.S. In fact, in a first, U.S. forces also used naval drones in combat operations. The U.S. military said it used one-way attack sea drones for the first time in combat in an attack on an Iranian naval port. The U.S. Central Command has said using multiple one-way attack surface drones, CENTCOM forces struck a submarine and ship maintenance facility in Iran. 3 unmanned surface vessels hit the port at Bandar Abbas Naval Base, marking the first time American forces have employed sea drones in combat operations.
You know, Rick, I gotta tell
A video released by
They're
CENTCOM showing an aerial view basically of 3 small sea drones speeding towards a raised dock that appeared to be holding a small submarine and then exploding. Watch those images. Now, it has been unclear from the video how much damage was actually caused, but there were plumes of smoke. That was the video that CENTCOM had put out. The last blast also appeared to cause a large fire. A lot of significance as far as these visuals are concerned. Remember, Ukraine has also made extensive use of naval drones against Russian ships in the Black Sea. For Kiev, inexpensive naval drones have been a game changer. The Central Command identified the sea drones used in the attack on Sunday. Let's tell you more about what is known as of now reportedly as far as these drones are concerned, the sea drones as they are being called. A 24-foot-long unmanned boat, basically. A was reportedly the same type of boat used to rescue the 2-person crew from a U.S. Apache helicopter gunship that went down near the Strait of Hormuz last month. That was said to be the first U.S. rescue carried out by an autonomous surface vessel. In fact, it can reportedly travel at speeds of up to 35 knots. And can also carry a load of up to 1,000 pounds, more than 1,000 nautical miles. That's what is known right now as far as these sea drones are concerned. They have been used by the U.S. for the first time in such an attack. Meanwhile, as the entire region also grapples with an increasingly precarious situation, as of now, Bahrain and Jordan earlier said they had intercepted new Iranian attacks on Tuesday as Tehran retaliated with the missiles and drones across the region. The UAE said at least 2 tankers came under Iranian fire in the Strait of Hormuz. So a lot has been happening across the region. Earlier, Iran also said U.S. strikes hit an Iranian border area near Iraq and Kuwait as the fighting between the two sides continued. Meanwhile, India summoned Iran's senior diplomat in New Delhi to protest against attacks on 2 commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz that killed an Indian seafarer and injured several others. India summoned the Iranian deputy ambassador in New Delhi today after an Indian seafarer was killed when Iran struck 2 UAE-owned tankers reportedly in the Strait of Hormuz. The move coming as India expressed concern over the safety of its large seafaring community, with thousands of Indian nationals working on merchant vessels across the region. Indian officials have condemned the attack, which took place on Monday in Omani territorial waters, reportedly. Meanwhile, the U.S. military's official tally of deaths in the Iran war had risen to 14 service members, reportedly, with the deaths of a Navy pilot in a helicopter crash in early July in the Arabian Sea, as reported. The number of injured troops from the conflict also has grown to more than 400 as of Monday. That's what the figures look like. According to the spokesman for the U.S. Central Command, the majority of them suffered traumatic brain injuries. The U.S. Central Command did not quite offer any details, reportedly, on the specific airman, but
This game's bad, so I'm gonna shut the stream off. Probably on tomorrow. See you guys.